So, as I grew as a person, I I looked at how I changed. I looked at all the catalysts for my changes and the different versions of myself as I developed into who I am at this point. And I think for most of my life, I didn't know how to articulate it. I was a red pill man. Um, I had red pill traits. I had many traits that were very MGTOW in nature before the word was actually coined. And I think there's a lot of men out there that are like that. I think they lead a life to where they spend most of it being called selfish. Um, Even after they do a prudent evaluation of the circumstances of their relationships and interactions with people, particularly women. And I do agree that there are some natural MGTOWs. There are people that imitate the MGTOW lifestyle and philosophy to get through a situation, and they go back to being a blue pill person. And I don't have an issue with this. Every man has to do what every man has to do. It's just if you make your bed, God damn it, you have to lay in it. And that's simply the way that it is. For me, there was another evolution. While I came to accept the fact that human nature was what it was, that men behaved like men and women behaved like women, and each one of them had things that were positive and negative, I found myself crossing the burning sands of red pill isolation and red pill rage into something else. It was a complete and utter acceptance of the reality of everything around me. And there was a new awareness to it as well. I began seeing people how they were. I think there's a lot of positive MGTOW channels. Like Sandman is very matter of fact. He's very, hey, this is how it is. There's no need to get mad. But some people are very venomous in their attacks on women. It's almost like getting mad at a king cobra for biting. I don't look at women the same way. I don't look at friendship the same way. There are very clear lines. There are very clear borders. Very clear areas of compartmentalization for me. And this new awareness allowed me to start dealing with people not in suspicion, but with that acceptance. And with that acceptance came a peace. And I hadn't felt that peace before. And it just occurred to me that my next evolution was something beyond being a red pill man. And, it's fun to categorize things and give things names. I deemed what I had become a Clear Capsule Man. And the idea of being clear is, it's almost a placebo effect. It was already in you to begin with. You just had to access it. And when you're clear, no one can get over on you. No one can hurt you in the classic ways that people hurt people. It's almost the ultimate form of God, I don't even have the words for it. It's like an ascension of self. And while people do what they're going to do, and they move in their predictable patterns, you're not affected by it. Now, you lose some things in translation. The ability to look forward to things is very different. The ability to share who you are with the person is very, very different. There is no hurt, not because you don't expect it, but because you have no control over it. You have no control over what the world does around you. Internally, you have a choice. And this acceptance is much more different than a lack of trust. I trust that a woman will do what a woman does. And sometimes a woman comes through and sometimes a woman doesn't. It has the absolute same effect on me. I trust that coworkers will throw me under the bus or they will save me from time to time. And the feeling I have towards them in either scenario is the exact same. My reaction to everything is the same, barring it causing me great physical pain, and then my reaction probably is to yell and kick somebody's ass, possibly. But beyond that, beyond a physical stimuli, I recognize everything for what it is. And not being able to fall in love with those things around me, material or women or otherwise, it did create a degree of isolation that was similar to red pill isolation. But it also gave me an awakening. You know, you start creating universes around yourself and for yourself. And those universes and those things that you create are the most cherished things in the world, especially when those things are cerebral and without the need to impress or to gain accolades from people, because then you're sitting there waiting for fish. When you're able to inner photosynthesize, you don't need anyone to feed you. All you need to do is walk into the sun and remember who you are. I'd like to expand upon the concept of being a clear capsule human being. And I'm not looking to make any movements. You know, I don't want to monetize anything. That's not my goal. My goal is to try to help men reach a point to where they can self-actualize without creating enemies around them, without demonizing women. And I do talk about the nature of women because I don't believe most men understand the nature of women, and that's where they spend the bulk of their time sending their resources. So I do have a huge I have a big connection to that, and I have an obligation to talk about that. But I'd like to get beyond men and women and get into your human existence. I want to get into being your own emotional and psychological photosynthesizer. I want you to be able to do everything internally. If you like what I'm talking about, or you kind of dig what I'm getting at, hit that like button and become a subscriber, because I would like to affect whoever is open to hearing a different perspective. Thanks, and take care.